The Orlando Magic have been in a battle with themselves for a good chunk of the season. It felt like they were finally winning. And then Thursday happened, and we have to ask ourselves again, who are the Orlando Magic? Today on Locked On Magic.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is March 28th, 2025. My name is Philip Rossman-Reich. I'm the senior writer over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter at PhilipRR_OMD and on Blue Sky at PhilipRR. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, the Orlando Magic continue to fight themselves. Why the Magic took all the progress that they have made over the last several weeks and lost it all in one game, or showed that the bad team is still in there. We'll talk about why you should be worried about Thursday's loss, but why Thursday's loss is still something we have to worry about. We'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. First, I want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. No matter when you listen to us, whether it's first thing in the morning, whether it's right when we upload, we truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. You can make Locked On Magic an even bigger part of your day with the Locked On Magic Daily Newsletter, the one-stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free Locked On Newsletter. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Check it out at FanDuel. Everything seemed to be going well for the Orlando Magic. I want to make this really, really clear. Really, for almost 3/4 of this game, the Magic were playing exactly how we've seen them play for the last month, and exactly how they have played and been successful for a while now. Magic were 6-4 in their last 10 games entering this game on Thursday. The Magic opened up a 7-point lead at the half. They did a really good job kind of withstanding run, staying in the game. It was ugly. It was dirty. It was Magic basketball. Dallas wasn't really getting much going. The defense was getting set. They're missing shots, but they're hanging tough. This is Magic basketball. This is who we know this team is capable of being, and why we thought at the beginning of the season this team could compete for home court advantage. That team, I will continue to contend, is still in there, and we have seen that team more and more lately, and the Magic with a 3-game win streak have shown that they can be that team. The Orlando Magic gave up a 7-point lead at halftime, but then made a run to make it 11 when Paolo Banchero rebounded his own missed free throw and dunked the ball with authority. The kind of like momentum play that you lead your story with, because it feels like it is a symbol of the will that this team has. Until there were 5 minutes left in the third quarter, it looked like the Magic were going to make this a 4-game win streak. It looked like they were going to be able to put those pieces together, get to the finish line, and beat a very game Dallas Mavericks team, I must say. But beat a Dallas Mavericks team, score a huge win, retake 7th in the East with the Atlanta Hawks losing later in the evening. All those things that we're hungry for, that we're waiting for this Magic team to do. The hump that this Magic team's been trying to clear seemingly since January. Since they hit this rut in January. But that's not what we're here to discuss today. Instead, the Magic missed their final 11 shots of the third quarter. Instead, as I change my box score here so I can give you the exact stats. Instead, the Magic gave up a 20-2 run to end the third quarter over those final 5 minutes. Orlando missed 1, 2. I'm going to go through my list here. Sorry, if I stop here. 3, 4, 5 3-pointers. 5 3-pointers over those final 5 minutes, allowing Dallas to flip the game in their favor from down 11 to up 7. And the Magic recovered, but never really made a push. Never really got back into the game. Quite simply, this is who the Magic have been all season. This has been the frustration. This has been the unfortunate reality of the Orlando Magic this year. They have had these brilliant moments. They have had these great showings. They have had they have played some extraordinary basketball, but not for 48 minutes. And when they hit these lulls, when they hit these parts where the offense doesn't work and they can't make enough shots against any team in the league, doesn't have to be good teams, and Dallas is the same level as Orlando at this point, against many teams, the Magic find themselves in holes they can't dig themselves out of. They find that their resilience and their toughness go away. They find that they make bad runs worse, and they're unable to get themselves out. The fact of the matter is, the Orlando Magic are 35-39. That's who they are. That's their record. They have been one of the, they're 19th in the league in turnover rate. Better than they were last year, I might add, but 19th in the league in turnover rate. They are last in the league in three-point field goal percentage. They have struggled with pace and tempo. And while there is a lot of focus on a lot of these things, ultimately when the Magic lose, you can point to these things, and they have been consistent and they have been regular throughout the course of the season. The Magic, at their worst, look like they did in the second half of this game. Unable to generate offense, unable to get baskets, unable to keep pace, relying so heavily on their star players, unable to find rhythm, and eventually cracking their defense. Eventually good shot making, eventually fast breaks, eventually transition, eventually the Magic aren't able to get their defense set and teams are able to break them down. It doesn't matter who it is. Tonight, it was Jaden Hardy, who always seems to play well against the Magic, hitting 5 3-pointers, the same number as the Magic. You're just not going to win games in this league shooting 5 for 30 from 3. And while Jamal Mosley will point to the turnovers, 17 turnovers, so 22 points, another game where the Magic don't kind of live up to the way that they've been playing lately. This is the reality. This is who the Magic can be. This whole season has been this battle. Just to put it plainly. This whole season has been this fight between who we think the Magic should be and who the Magic can be, and who they are at their worst. In this game, the Magic had a 17.5% turnover rate. They scored only 94.8 points per 100 possessions. It doesn't matter how well they defend if they can't score themselves. And all those numbers that have just defined this season are all still there. 17 turnovers for 22 Mavericks points, 5 for 30 shooting from 3. That's in line with who the Magic have been all season, really. Obviously, the turnovers were worse than normal. Orlando's 19th in the league with a 14.7% turnover rate. They give up 17.4 points off turnovers per game. It's like one of the few weaknesses in this defense. The Magic obviously are a terrible three-point shooting team, 31.1% from 3. Struggles are well chronicled. The Magic played a bad game. And frankly, at this point, because we know how bad the Magic are at shooting, if the Magic lose a game because they didn't shoot the ball well, it's just kind of so be it. As long as the Magic got open shots, so be it. The Magic aren't able to find other ways to operate and other ways to score, and that just speaks to the limitations of the roster. But this is not how the Magic have to play. This is not how the Magic have played. We have had optimism. We have believed in this team through March because all of these numbers aren't in line with who they've been. In March, the Orlando Magic are 9th in the league with a 12.9% turnover rate, nearly 2 percentage points better than their average. Again, they had a turnover rate of more than 17%. Really bad number. Magic last year at 15. The Magic have given up only 15.5 points off turnovers per game in March. That's 7th in the league. Three-point shooting has even turned around. In March, the Magic have shot 34% from three. It's still bottom three in the league, but you're not 2 percentage points worse than the next worst team, the Washington Wizards. And the Magic shot well against the Lakers, shot well against the Hornets, shot well against the Wizards. They give themselves a fighting chance just by being average. The Magic have had at one point in March, the Magic had 5 players, not like recently, had 5 players shooting better than 40% from three. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who went 0 for 3 in this game, has shot 42.2% from three in March. Again, that's like 12, 13 games. Caleb Houston, who went 0 for 1, shot 50%. Paolo Banchero, who was 1 for 5 in this game, shot 38.3% in March. We know the Magic can be better. And they let things slip away. And so we're back to the fundamental question that has haunted the team all season. We are back to the fundamental question at the heart of everything. Which team are the Orlando Magic going to be? Are they going to be the better version of themselves that we saw during the 3-game win streak, during winning 4 of the last of the 5 games entering this game? The team that is 6-4 in their last 10 and starting to gain ground again. Are they that team? Or are they this team? The team that showed up Thursday night, especially in that third quarter, and doesn't have enough to win, and gives games away, and shoots themselves in the foot so much that it doesn't matter how good their defense is. This has been the battle all season long. And it's a battle the Magic lost Thursday. If Orlando wants to be the 7th seed, because it is there for the taking, if the Magic want to be the 7th seed, if they want to fend off the streaking Chicago Bulls who have the confidence and are playing winning basketball right now, if the Magic want to do any of that, it starts with them choosing who they want to be. It starts with making sure Thursday's game is just a bad night. And obviously you don't want bad nights, especially this time of year. They happen. Everybody's human. I don't think anybody is panicking over anything. But if the Magic want to put this argument to rest, they got to make Thursday the odd game, the bad game, instead of making it the regular game that it was in January and February. A big part of this is the Orlando Magic not getting enough from their stars. Paolo Banchero has been great, but Franz Wagner has seen some major slippage. We're going to talk about Franz's struggles and where the Magic go with it coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. There's not that many underdogs left. We had some crazy games on Thursday, but no matter who you think is going to win, FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on, and the FanDuel app is simple to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Paolo Banchero continues his tear. I'm not going to throw aspersions on Paolo. 35 points, 13 for 21 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3, 8 for 12 from the foul line, left some points on the board. 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 turnovers were a little much, but Paolo Banchero with his 5th straight 30-point game. He's the first Magic player to do that since Tracy McGrady in 2003. We are watching Paolo Banchero do some very, very special things, and right now, you just know what you're going to get from Paolo Banchero. The formula for the Magic to win right now is Paolo gets his 30 or 25 plus. Franz is going to be somewhere between 20 and 25, and the Magic need to find one other player to kind of go with them. Obviously, like the 3-point shooting has to be part of it, but the Magic need one other player to go with them. We'll talk about where that maybe fell off or what didn't happen in this game that needed to happen when we review the box score here in a bit. The part of the formula that's been a little bit off lately, though, is Franz Wagner. It's really difficult for the Magic to win with the margin of error that they have when Franz Wagner is struggling to shoot the way that he's struggling to shoot right now. In Thursday's game, he scored 20 points, shot 8 for 21 from the floor, 0 for 5 from 3. Did have 9 rebounds, did have 4 turnovers. 2 of them on travels that were iffy. But nevertheless, it's been a struggle. And while Franz's raw numbers look good, all those arguments that people used to make about Paolo and his efficiency, Franz is the one struggling with it right now. And I'm mentioning it here just to point this out. I'm not saying that, it's time to give up on Franz or anything like that. He's going to be fine. But in March, in 12 games in March, where the Magic in the 12 games in March leading into Thursday's game, Franz Wagner was averaging 22.3 points per game. Pretty good number. We'll take that. But shooting only 44.3% from the floor and a very icy 25.5% from 3. He's now 14 for 60 from 3. In March. He's shooting 14 for 60 from 3 in March. That's 23.3%. It has been rough. But look, Franz's game is based on his ability to get to the basket. It's on his ability to finish around the rim. This season, Franz Wagner leads the team, even more than Paolo Banchero, with 5.6 field goal attempts in the restricted area per game, according to NBA.com. That's 66.1% shooting. He averages 6.4 field goal attempts per game in the paint outside of the restricted area, shooting 44.9%. Again, that is the most on the team. He averages more than 12 field goal attempts per game right in the paint. Those little runners, those floaters, the layups, getting all the way to the basket. This is Franz Wagner's bread and butter. But in March, those numbers drop dramatically. Instead, Franz is only getting to the restricted area for 5.5 field goal attempts per game, shooting 65.3%, so not so terrible. But when he doesn't get all the way to the basket, on 6.9 field goal attempts per game in the paint outside the restricted area, he's shooting only 40%. That's shooting 40% now, shooting 44.9% for the season. This is a big drop-off, and he's 40.6% on mid-range shots for the season. It doesn't take a lot of them, but 40.6% to 44.4%, but lower volume on mid-range shots. It's not like this is a crisis. I'm not sitting here saying this is a terrible thing. Look, Franz, as Jamal Mosley pointed out, shot 13 for 26 against the Lakers. He was only 8 for 22 against the Hornets. Got the line for 10 free throws. He was 9 for 18 against the Wizards. He's had good games, but you see more games like Houston, where he was 8 for 19, or the Cavs, where he was 8 for 19, or the Wolves, where he was 4 for 16. In fact, in March, he has shot better than 50% in games only 5 times. 50% or better only 5 times in 13 games. Franz Wagner is supposed to be the efficient one. And why these shots are missing, some of it is just they're just missing. Some of it is, yes, his three-point shooting has taken a step back since he came back from the injury. There's no doubt about it. We all notice it. He's got a little hitch in his shot. I would argue that I think he's trying to change his form. He's trying to be a little bit more vertical with his shot, get a little more consistent arch. This is how he's working through it. It's been ugly to watch in games and have him go through it in the season. It's not something he's going to fix till he's in the offseason. And obviously, three-point shooting is a big piece of the puzzle for him. The three-point shot's just gone. It's going to be the second straight year where he shot worse than 30% from three. After 2 very encouraging seasons where he shot 36 and 35%. Getting him back to even 34, 35% would go a long way. And that's been a drain on his shooting. There's no doubt about it. But it's also very clear he is not shooting with the same level of efficiency or frequency inside the paint and at the rim. And this is as much a bread and butter of the Magic's offense and of Franz's game as anything else. His efficiency is a big part of his value. It's a big part of why he got the max contract, because he is deadly efficient on these kinds of shots, and he's so good at getting them. But this is the issue. The Magic don't have a lot of options. And so some of this is, yes, Franz is stuck because he is seeing a lot of the double teams that Paolo sees. Teams are loading up on the paint. The Magic have their reputation as a bad three-point shooting team. Teams are willing to let the Magic shoot threes, even if they're making them, betting they won't make enough of them. Betting they will go cold, betting the numbers and the percentages will turn back in their favor. And that makes it harder for Franz to get downhill. That makes it harder for Franz to get to the basket. And that means Franz is taking tougher shots. And Paolo Banchero is probably more comfortable taking some of these tougher shots and shooting off the dribble than Franz is. That's one of the key differences in them as players. But the bottom line is this. The Magic aren't winning without Franz Wagner. The Magic aren't winning without an efficient and effective Franz Wagner. And look, who knows what the reason is? Could Franz be tired? Could he be facing some fatigue? Could he be facing the same kind of struggles that Paolo faced when he came back from his injury and is only now starting to go through it? It's all possible. Any explanation is possible. It's been a weird season for everybody on this team. But as the season concludes, and certainly as we get into postseason play, the Magic need the best version of Franz Wagner. They need that pressure on the rim that he provides. And one of the times and moments that the Magic struggle right now is when Franz is struggling to shoot. These games are close, like the blowout wins. Washington, he shoots well. New Orleans, he shoots well. The rough loss, even Milwaukee, 8 for 17. You can live with that. Some of these games where the Magic has struggled, 6 for 17 against Chicago, 4 for 16 against Minnesota. That was a close game, but Magic, again, had a long drought, gave away a lead. Part of it's because Franz isn't scoring consistently. And so when Paolo comes out of the game, the Magic lose a lot of scoring punch. Part of the Magic's appeal and part of the Magic's success is they have two guys who can score. And right now, Franz isn't always carrying his weight or carrying his part of the load. The raw number might be there, but the Magic need the efficient Franz Wagner back. And getting that back is going to help the Magic be ready for the playoffs and get where they want to go this season. We've talked about some players. Let's go through the rest of the box score. We'll talk about where the Magic fell short coming up here in just a moment. Like I said, I'm kind of at the point where if I look at a box score, if I watch a game, and my conclusion is the Magic lost because they missed open shots, I just kind of accept it. And honestly, I know we're at a point of the season where every win matters and every game matters. And for the Magic to catch up to Atlanta, to take the lead over Atlanta, because remember, Atlanta has a game in hand on the Magic. They'll have 2 games in hand here coming up later this weekend. The Hawks play Saturday against Milwaukee, and then they play again, I believe, on Sunday or Monday before the Magic play, or they'll play again Monday, and then the Magic play Tuesday, so they'll have 2 games in hand. So it's really important that the Magic make up some ground because, look, by the time we get to April 8th, everyone's playing the same number of games. We're all playing on the same day, I believe. For the most part, Magic play Boston, which is not on the same day. But Atlanta will play on Thursday, then it's Friday, Sunday. So, those last 4 games, there's no games in hand. We're all kind of even. We're all kind of progressing together at that point. This was an opportunity lost because, this was a toss-up game. The Magic are going to have to win a toss-up game somewhere. The toss-up games for me they're obviously the Atlanta games are their own box. We're going to put those in their own box. But for the Magic to get the 7 seed, they needed to go 2-1 on this homestand if they could. Winning Dallas, winning Sacramento were pretty important. The Clippers are going to be tougher. The Magic pretty much have to win one of these next 2 games. They have to beat San Antonio. They have to beat Washington. No excuses to lose to those teams, even with the back-to-back in San Antonio. From there, you got Atlanta. You got Boston, Indiana. If you can flip one of those, great. And then Atlanta again. Sacramento is about as must-win as a game at this point can be. And again, we're like, the pressure is on. Like, we feel it. We see the end. We know where the finish line is. And there's not a lot of time left to make up this ground. Now, you still control your own destiny a little bit because you still play the Hawks twice. But you kind of expect to split those 2 games. And so Atlanta losing one of their toss-up games to Miami is big. Now Atlanta still plays Milwaukee, but they only have, I think, 2 games left against teams above 500. The Magic have 4. So we've got, like, there are 3, I think. Like, the Magic have the toughest schedule remaining, so they have to find ways to flip some of these games. Like, this was a big game because it could have given them that half-game lead, could have given them a little bit of an advantage. You know, again, fending off Chicago beneath them, too, at a game and a half back now. Orlando has to get wins however they can get them. Like, however they need to, they got to get them. Now, like, Chicago still plays Cleveland and Oklahoma City. Atlanta still plays New York and Milwaukee. Orlando still plays Boston, Indiana, and the Clippers. Those are the hard teams left. Those are the over 500 teams left on the schedule. Get one of those, and you're kind of back in business, I think. But again, like, if Atlanta, like, say, beats Milwaukee on Saturday, Milwaukee's not playing great right now. If Atlanta beats Milwaukee on Saturday, then that's something you lose to. So you got to take care of your business here first. This was a big game for that reason. Dallas had the same record as Orlando. This is a game that was like kind of a 50-50 game on your home floor. You're playing really well for a half. You're playing really well for 2.5 quarters, and you give the game away. And that's the problem. That's why this game is big. But at the same time, like, I can't be so upset if I watch a game and the reason they lost is because they missed open shots. The Magic missed a lot of open shots. Were there a few that they settled on, of course, but you're only taking 33s in the game. You're not trying to take a ton of threes. You shoot 24 for 39 in the paint. You do a good job getting in the paint. Dallas makes 11 of 23 threes. You make 5 of 30. You're just not making up that difference. Some of it is Dallas shot really well. Max Christie was 2 for 3 from 3. Jaden Hardy was 5 for 6 from 3, made some really difficult shots. Klay Thompson was only 2 for 4. So you, like, do a good job on Dallas's starters. It's your bench. And again, that this bench has been an issue. It's been a major issue since Mo Wagner got hurt. Orlando went from a top 10 bench scoring team in the league to bottom 10 this season. Or at least since the Mo Wagner injury, at least. Because again, they've had a lot of injuries. They've had bench players fill in as starters. They're just not getting consistently enough from the bench. Again, Jaden Hardy scores 22. Brandon Williams scores 14. Max Christie scores 12 off the bench. Orlando got 14 points from Anthony Black, 9 in the first half. He was 5 for 10, 1 for 4 from 3. Did some good things, like good defensively, good aggressive going to the basket, especially early. But like, the Magic's offense is struggling so much, they need that extra kick. They got only 3 points from Goga Bitadze and only 2 points from Tristan da Silva. Caleb Houston didn't score. Gary Harris, 14th game of the season where he didn't score. He's +1, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. Didn't take any shots. That's Gary Harris. That's kind of what it is right now. They didn't get the 3-point shooting from Caleb Houston that they've been getting. And the ball kind of stuck. Like, it was a weird offensive game. Dallas did a really good job loading up on Paolo. And the Magic spacing just wasn't effective enough. They just weren't able to kind of free themselves and get themselves open for shots. The ball didn't really move. And again, the Magic missed a lot of shots. They're 5 for 30, 42.5% from the floor. Like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, that dude's not taking bad shots. But he's 0 for 4, 0 for 3 from 3, including a 3 that hit the side of the backboard. It just continues to feed narratives that he hasn't been what the Magic wanted him to be. He missed shots in a big moment, in a big key moment for this team, and in a big game for this team. But he just had a bad game. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's still shooting 42% for the last 12, 13 games. I'm not worried about KCP. Like, I think KCP is back to reliable KCP. The KCP the Magic signed, but he had a bad game. Role players have bad games. The problem with the game tonight every single role player had a bad game, or all the like kind of key shooting role players had bad games. Corey Joseph has been really reliable. He only had 6 points, 2 for 6 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, 3 fouls, 1 assist. Wasn't really a factor at all. Made a couple threes, but just wasn't really a factor at all. And just shows you kind of the shortcoming of having like kind of guys who need others to set them up, where like Paolo and Franz are the only guys setting everyone else up. Paolo Banchero was brilliant again. 35 points, 13 for 21 shooting. Only 1 for 5 from 3, 8 for 12 from the foul line. Orlando's just 19 for 24 from the foul line. Didn't get to the line enough. They only with 12 free throw attempts coming from Paolo. Wendell Carter was really good. And I thought Wendell Carter was excellent on both ends, to be honest. Wendell Carter is like the one player where I don't have a complaint about how he played. He played well. He played well for him. Like Paolo's like doing Paolo things. Among his 30-point games, this was probably like the weakest of them, just because of the turnovers. But like Wendell Carter did his job. 12 points, 5 rebounds. So rebounds are maybe a little lower than you'd want them to be. He fouled. He had 5 fouls. Had a couple blocks. 5 for 10 shooting. Like was really like good at rolling to the short corner. Like kind of doing a short roll, free throw line, hitting that little mid-range jumper. That's been really good for him. And besides like some fouling issues, defended Anthony Davis really well. Anthony Davis only had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 5 for 19 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3. Did a really good job defending him, being physical with him. The refs let a lot go. They let a lot of fouling go. It was a very physical game. Carter relished it, and I thought Carter played really, really well. But like a lot of those points came in the third quarter. The Magic through the first half of the third quarter were really, really good. Carter finished with 9 of his 12 points in the third quarter. In fact, in the third quarter, only 2 players scored, Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter. Paolo had 11 in the third. Carter had 9. That's your problem. There's no offensive balance. Franz Wagner was 0 for 3 in the third quarter. Corey Joseph 0 for 2. Those are the only guys taking shots. Paolo was 4 for 8. Wendell Carter 4 for 7. The Magic are just desperate for some secondary scoring. They're just desperate for guys who can put the ball in the basket, can attack, that aren't their 2 main players. And that's easier to do when you make shots. And the Magic just weren't making shots from the very start of this game. They weren't making shots. The game was going to come down to who made their shots first. And Orlando made enough to build their lead. Then they went cold. Dallas made their shots, and they made their shots the rest of the game. They kept the Magic at bay. Orlando never really threatened in the fourth quarter. And so it's just like one of those games. So again, like, it's hard to win like 10 in a row. The Magic would have been on track to win, I think, 11 in a row if they won every game. There was going to be a loss somewhere along the way. There's just going to be a night that was just a bad night. The Magic have to hope, and there's probably one more of them the rest of the way. The Magic have to hope this is the last bad night of the year, that the Magic got this like funk out of their system, and that they come back Saturday and play like they played for most of the month. Like, that's, again, the main argument, main point of this episode is to tell you the Magic can be this version of this team. Like, the way they played against Dallas, that's how they played in January and February. They can still do that, and it's not good. What we need to see is them reaffirm that they are the team from March. And so, again, momentum is the next day's pitcher. This loss hurts. It stinks. It's bad for the standings. It doesn't matter if you come back, beat Sacramento. It doesn't matter if you beat Sacramento, get that win back, stabilize the ship, get the good vibes back, head into that game against the Clippers, play a really good Clippers team. Clippers team's playing very, very well right now. Play a really good Clippers team. Go to San Antonio, take care of your business. Go to Washington, take care of your business. At worst, you've lost 2 of your last, how many games is that? That's 2 of your last 8 games. That's 6-2. That's picking up 4 games on your record. That should put you in a good position heading into that 4-day break to be ahead of the Hawks, to give yourself to set up that big game and give yourselves a chance in that final stretch of the season. The Magic, I think, are still on the upswing. I am not concerned about this loss. This is kind of who this team is. You just hope that this doesn't remain who this team is. And that's kind of got to be the focus and the vibe as the Magic head to face another kind of up and down team in the Sacramento Kings. A Kings team that worked the Portland Trailblazers on Thursday could very easily come into Orlando, blow the doors open, and just be really difficult to defend, or could continue to muddle around, not really figure things out, and the Magic are able to take care of their business and get a nice home win on Saturday afternoon. We'll find that out Saturday. We'll talk about it after that game as well. But that's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. Of course, find me on Twitter at PhilipRR_OMD. You can find me on Blue Sky at PhilipRR. You can subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcasts, search for TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, Odyssey, and all Filmation podcasts to your podcast enabled listening device. You can find us on YouTube as well at Locked On Magic. Also, be sure to check us out on Instagram at Locked On Magic and on Twitter at Locked On Magic. For the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can find us there on Twitter at OMagicDaily. And for even more Orlando Magic content, be sure to check out my Patreon page, the Orlando Magic Hub, at patreon.com/Orlando Magic Hub. As always, thank you for your support. Now that you're done listening to me, be sure to go check out and subscribe to the Locked On Magic Daily Newsletter, the one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com, and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Magic Newsletter. That's going to do it for me today. Once again, the Orlando Magic fall to the Dallas Mavericks 101-92. We'll be back again after Saturday's game against Sacramento Kings. We'll recap that game, get you ready for the final, 3 weeks of the season now. We're coming to the very end here. We'll get to all that coming up on our next episode. But until then, for Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, this has been Philip Rossman-Reich. We'll see you all again next time for another episode of Locked On Magic.